Alright. Should be all good. Alright, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main prime time event of the evening. It's the Game Boy block of Spyrothon. I'm your current host, Jake, or JakeInTake, and I hope you enjoy your stay here in chat. I'll be kicking things off tonight with Spyro Attack the Rhynocs, also known in Europe as Spyro Adventure. And it came out on the GBA all the way back in 2003. Last year I did this at Spyrothon in a hotel bathroom for an impromptu trip to Pennsylvania, but luckily this year I'm home in my usual setup. Since this game isn't really well known, I'll drop some lore courtesy of Wikipedia. In the professor's lab, the professor shows Spyro and Sparks his two new inventions. The first is a projector-like peephole machine, enabling them to spy on Ripto. The professor then displays his next new invention, Butler, a large mechanical bear designed to help him in his lab. Unfortunately, Butler malfunctions, and the professor has failed to equip it with an off switch. Spyro manages to short Butler out by luring him into a power generator. Then the peephole machine malfunctions, and the hole in the fabric of space begins to expand rapidly. A terrified professor tells Spyro about hearts, magical objects with very special properties, and the only way to control the problem. The professor is about to give him a warp device that will allow him to travel to all the other lands. When Ripto appears through the hole and claims the device for himself, the advantage, he can rapidly conquer the surrounding lands. Ripto warps out Spyro along with Sparks and Butler to Dragon Shores, and that's where our story begins. So with that epic introduction, I guess I'll just count down from 5. Alright, I get a drink of water after that. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, you'll probably hear me text mashing a lot at the start of this. And then we're gonna enter like a tutorial area, which basically just teaches you how to jump, glide, hover, the basics of a Spyro game. This run basically tries to obtain all the max abilities for Spyro. Okay, if I can just be in there. That includes Head Bash in the 3 different types of breaths, fire, ice, and wind. And then the more advanced versions of those breaths. And in order to get the advanced wind breath from... Oh my god, I'm not doing that. In order to get the advanced wind breath from Moneybags, you have to pay in 2,000 gems. So we're gonna have to do some gem collecting in order to indirectly receive it. By the way, I'm running this on an emulator. I'm not running this on an actual Game Boy. And world record I got back in January of 2017. It's 2032. Took it over from Jumpy and I are basically the only ones who have actually run this game in the years past. Also, different from Season of Flame and Season of Ice, there's actually unlimited lives in this game, which is very convenient. And all the other like previous characters from Spyro, so like Sheila and Bentley and everyone else, they're all in this game. They're more just like side characters. Sergeant Bird and Agent 9, you can actually like, play in this game. They have their own little side areas, so that's fun. Alright, so here I'm just going to lead Butler over to this so I can malfunction him. I'm going to jump at the end of that so I get a little bit of a sequence break, so I can stand in this spot. And when I'm standing in this spot, it basically, otherwise you'd be stuck over toward Butler, and the camera's going to keep moving back from you to Ripto, and it's really annoying. So if you just stand near him, the camera doesn't move at all. And now we're in Dragon Shores. Looks a lot different from Spyro 2. We're going to do a bit of a precise glide over to this island. And I'm going to head up here, grab a couple more gems, and then head into Fairy Library. I have never seen that gem hide up there like that. Kind of went out of bounds. Alright, so here you got to flame this ladybug, and it will take you up to this platform. Sometimes you can, if you time it correctly, you can get up there early. But I only really know 2 cycles of that ladybug jumping around. I'm gonna grab a couple of those, just because I missed that 10 and that 5 earlier. And that other 5. From here, it's basically just a lot of gem collecting. Just working your way like around a circular path, around this complex library. That's not what you're supposed to do. go back to that too. It's basically just running around here. There's a couple precise-ish glides. Not really. This is kind of one of them. It's easy though. Oh. This game actually is a lot of fun compared to other runs I've done. I don't usually run this like at all. It's not like my main game. I generally run Spyro 3, but this is just kind of a side fun game. Alright. So here is like the first crypto fight of 3. It's one we actually have to fight. He takes these 3 Rhynocs and basically turns it into like a big Rhynoc worm, like that. And then he puts this book on top of it. The book is required to warp to this specific location. I'll show it off when I leave this area. And I don't know, it's kind of weird. You can time that perfectly, by the way, to get the final hit. And earlier I actually got like an ice breath from one of the fairies in the library. It was right at the start after I blew up that little fireplace thing. I'm gonna want to actually get these gems, just because I was a little underdone there. And then I just warp out of here using that book, which is just a quick escape to this area. And then we're here. Got a couple gems to get here. And I keep missing them. I'm a little underdone right now. And here's a precise glide. I missed it. Basically, what you're trying to do is fly into a load trigger for a level called Banana Savannah. And normally, oh, I don't want to do it. Alright, I got it there. Normally, you have to get this advanced version of the Ice Breath in order to make a path over to this area. But since they made it just far enough so you can glide out and get to it, we just abuse that and fly into the load trigger for the level. And we get over here. It's kind of one of the most precise tricks of the run. And then this pepper here gives you the advanced fire ability, which you won't see right now. You'll see it a little later on. And it's basically only used to hit some targets that are like far out of reach, like that one right there. Except we don't actually do it there. Grab some extra gems. From here on out, we're basically just collecting gems to finish off a level. It's a beauty. I don't know why, but the music here like dies out, and then it decides to come back like, later on. It's very low. It's weird. And if you see that vent over there, that's actually where you can play as, I think that's Agent 9's area up there. Those vents are where you can play Agent 9 and Sergeant Bird. So yeah, this whole run basically just follows a route that builds on the items and abilities obtained in the previous level that are needed to complete the next few. And that's just kind of the pattern of this run, minus the gem collecting, which is just stagnant throughout the whole run. Sometimes that sign decides to talk to you, luckily it didn't. And then you glide over to this boat, which takes you to like the more winter area of the game. It only has 2 levels. This is kind of like the lobby area for it. I don't think it has an official name. Alright, so this is where, it's called Bird Barracks. It's basically where Sergeant Bird's hanging out, or his friends are at least. This is Private Flat. He's a great guy. So yeah, you use the Ice Breath here to flame and freeze that guy. And then I'm going to use Wind to get this guy over to where he needs to be. And then this guy's going to give me an advanced version of the Ice Breath. So I can do this and freeze the path. Which was, you would have had to do that to get into Banana Savannah, but luckily we just used a precise glide to get into that load trigger. That's actually used, like the Ice Breath advanced thing is used a couple times later in the run, specifically to get into Sheila's little area. Gotta make sure you skip that sign there. So a good amount of this run is actually like switching between the breaths and knowing when to actually switch between them. Nice, I actually made it up the stairs. Because like here I have to keep the ice breath so I can platform up these. This isn't Bartholomew, it's like one of his cousins. But he's gonna give me a different type of ability which lets me see in caves. And you can't get into caves otherwise unless you have this little lantern thing. And that's basically the next section after this. It's not like a cave section, but you have to go through them in order to get to the rest of the level. So you can get in here. From here I'm just going to switch to flame because it's more helpful to use. Some good platform. And then here I'm going to kind of go around the level in a circular path just to get some more gems. 666, good number. I'm a little under-gemmed still. Grab that enemy gem. And from here, we're gonna want to activate this vault, and this vault's a timed thing. It's really not hard to beat at all. Just gotta hit the 2 buttons. And then we're gonna actually skip going to it right away. And go down here, pick up some of these gems, pick up these. Get some more. Oh yeah, I can put those. Yeah. And then we're gonna head into the vault. Now, Moneybags vaults are really just useful for getting gems. You're going through about like 4 or 5 throughout the run, just because they have really good gem counts in them. And then here, instead of freezing that springbok, which is actually the name for those enemies, we can just do a little precise hover up that ledge. For some reason in these caves, like, Spyro slows down. It's kind of weird. If you start flaming or using any type of breath, it just slows down. Yeah, I'm like 30 gems behind, so I'll grab a couple extra. Here's just another cave, which has a good amount of gems in it. And that's basically it for the winter areas, the ice levels, snowy levels, whatever you want to call them. And you hop back on the boat and go back to Dragon Shores. Dragon Shores is a lot bigger than it was in the previous game. Or in Spyro 2, that is. I think this is the biggest, like, lore-driven game besides Season of Flame and Season of Ice. Don't want to do that. And this place is Rabbit Habitat, or I think that's what it's called. And basically it's just these bunnies who try to do magic. And this guy somehow cut himself in half. And then you have to pull them back together because the Rhynocs take them apart. Some gems along the way. Some of these. And I'm just trying to pull them back together. If you pull them back together, you get the wind breath, which can help helps deal with these moles, because you have to use it to push them in their hats, and then you jump in the hats, and it pushes you out up to here. Banjo music, yeah, a little bit. And I'm gonna go for this strat. Basically just trying to unlock the Moneybags vault. You can see the other buttons up there. You gotta time this correctly. It's a little bit tight if you mess up hitting that gopher over to the gopher hat over to this platform area. A couple more gems. I want to grab that. And a little turn with the jump. Because if you try to like pivot and turn around, if you're just charging, it takes a while. It's slow. If you jump while you're doing it, it's way faster. And if you saw that little item up there, that's like one of the items that's required for certain challenges in the game to get the hearts that you need to close that rift opened. Basically, all of these characters in the game ask you to do certain challenges to get these items in order to get the heart, in order to close the rifts. So it's kind of similar to Ripto's Rage in a way. I think this is the most lore-driven game. Let me kill this guy. Let's get a couple extra gems. How's everyone doing with this prime time Game Boy Advance section of Spyrothon? And then just a couple more gems over here. Lovely. Once again, if you flame these Ripto posters, it goes slower for some reason. Alright, so that's the last level in this section of Direct Chores. We're going to use that advanced flame breath to get that early, which is the little piece of driftboard. And over here is actually a boss skip. Don't want to talk to him. I want to make sure you have this out. And then we're actually going to get out here. And we're going to actually skip around fighting Ripto a second time, at least hopefully. I did not, because I'm bad. That's the first time I failed that in like ages. Yeah, we're not going to fight Ripto. Sorry. Should die. Alright, we're going to retry that. That actually like spawns the fight. And it's a really long fight that I don't want to end up doing. Luckily, we can just get around that and just skip out. And this is one of like the most precise glides in the game. And hovers. Glide hovers, whatever you want to call it. It's very tight timing. You have to know when to cut the corner. It's very difficult. There's just some really good gems up there that you want. Damn it. Nope. Nope. You really gotta know when to cut your corner. Nope. Come on. It's very difficult. You might be here a while. That's why it's 25 minutes from my estimate. Oh, that was close. I shouldn't have hovered so early. Ah. Hovered a little too late. Alright, there we go. It's very precise. Sometimes that can make or break runs. I think I got it second try in world record. Yeah. That's like the only time you actually skip Ripto. You fight him a total of 3 times. Unlike other games where you actually have different bosses to fight. No, you just fight Ripto 3 times instead. Here we're going to use that ice breath again so we can make this platform walkable. So you can run into the final level we're actually going to go into in the game. It's called Kangaroo Hoodoos. It's a very lovely level. It's where Sheila and all her friends go. I didn't want to talk to this person. Sometimes you can jump off this platform before Janice talks to you. And get over here, like that. Sometimes you trigger the talk box if you're on that piece of driftwood. And then, because you get that, you get head bash from this kangaroo. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. You can usually trigger their talk box from the road below. And for some reason, Ripto has hacked their TVs and made himself have propaganda on it 24/7. But we're not going to actually care about that in this level. I think that's like the main part of this level, is just trying to get Ripto's propaganda away. Some fast-paced Moneybags vault opening. Once again, these just have a good amount of gems in here. There's a 25 right there. I'm a little low on gems still. And then we have to hit this, like, weird turtle-like thing to hit these Ripto statues. So we can climb up them. This part has just a ton of gems at the end. We might need to get some more, but we should be fine. Got all these. Grab a couple extra over here. Make sure I grab these two. Alright, so we're gonna... This one actually takes a little bit longer to hit the statue. So we're gonna grab these up here. Grab some gems down here just so I'm not under gems. I should be fine. I'll help down here. There's 325s up here, which is really convenient. And then grab a couple extra up there. Don't want to miss that jump. I missed that jump, I think last year in Spyrothon. And that's about it for this area. Yeah, I'm really good with gems. Yeah, 2003. That's when this game came out. Wow, crazy. It's amazing. I planned that. Yeah, planned. I'm not gonna get any more gems purposely because of that. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's Moneybags' brother, I think. Or maybe even his son, I don't know. This is Moneybags. He's really fat in this game. And that's Butler from earlier. For some reason, he has like a fetish for Moneybags. And you have to short him out again using these little kitty things. I don't even know what they are. They just spit out water. So yeah, you actually need 2,000 gems just to get into Moneybags' little vault place. So he doesn't technically give you the, like, advanced version of the Wind Breath. It's just because Butler comes in and saves him that he gives you that as a gift. And yeah, we just quick escape back out to the start, so we can go back to where we came from. Have to use that advanced breath so we can get here. And now we're back to where we started, back in the lab. Eureka. Yeah, Eureka. Now we're in Ripto's, sort of Ripto's world. I'm just gonna skip right by that dragon that needs saving. And gotta use that thing from other levels. This level, Ripto's world basically combines everything from the whole game into one weird level made of clocks. I don't really know why they decided to go with clocks in Rhynocs. Just because it rhymes. Here's a very complicated puzzle. It's great. And then we're just basically gonna beeline to Ripto's little palace. You can go right behind that, I don't know why. And then we get up on top of the scenery. Hop over this. We could fail that easily. We should get a sheep some gold sparks. And then this worm thing shows back up again. Just gotta know when to time your flame. And then just go up here and wait for him. Cutscene skip, question mark. Oh, I got it. What? I have not gotten that in ages. What? That is crazy. I can't even tell you the last time I've gotten that. I have no idea what triggers that cutscene skip. Okay, well, I just failed that. That's great. Don't die. Please don't die. Come back. Yeah, I have no idea what causes that cutscene skip, but that's amazing that I got it. That saves like 20 seconds. Okay. And then just over here. This basically just uses all the advanced wind breaths. And then Ripto just fires back at you. Alright, so Ripto's basically dead. And I have to go grab these two devices on the floor. And I think it's gonna prompt me to jump and glide. Yeah, you get this weird jump and glide thing. I can just jump and glide. I can jump and glide right through here. Hey guys, it's Spyro. You're not supposed to be able to move after this. I think it's just because the two items are layered on top of each other. I'm just gonna kinda, like, grind up against the wall. Just because if you actually die in this section, you can soft lock the boss. I figured that out the other day. Time is like in a 5-second interval. Time. Alright. And that's Attack of the Rhynocs. The ending is really quick. I kind of forgot to even mention that time was coming up. But that's basically it. I don't know what my final time was. I guess I can just look on stream. 23:11 was my final time. That's not bad. That's less than 2 minutes off world, or it's a little less than 3 minutes off world record. But yeah, that's about it from me. Hope you guys are enjoying the event, and next up is some more Game Boy Advanced. Hope you guys stick around.